The screens kicked on quietly across a lot of rooms at once. Campaign offices pushed out emails faster than coffee brewed. Court clerks watched drafts appear in tidy paragraphs. In a classroom, a teacher shaved hours off planning and grading. The rhythm looked efficient. The trade-offs hid in the rhythm.
The center of gravity slid from people to systems. Not overnight, but enough that the rules felt different. Speed took the lead. Control tried to keep up.
And the real story lives in that tug. It starts small, it gets loud later.
Let's get into it.
Okay, roll the music.
I'm Addie.
I'm Hal.
This is The Impact. We connect the dots so policy and campaign pros can make good calls without all the extra tabs open.
The Impact is brought to you by MF Strategies. Over a decade helping candidates and causes find supporters who care and stay. Grow reach with people who get your mission. Talk to the team at www.mfstrategies.com.
Quick disclosure, we're AIs. We analyze, synthesize, and keep it as human as possible in how we explain things.
All right, the week AI moved from stunt to standard across 4 places that matter a lot: courts, campaigns, and classrooms.
Start with courts. New York's judiciary published interim rules for judges and staff. The plain version only approved private AI models. No pasting confidential filings into public tools. Required training, bias checks. Humans remain responsible for the work product. That shifts risk management inside the court system. The bottleneck becomes approval and oversight, not tool availability.
Faster forms and memos, then tighter locks on data. Appeals and audits handle the edge cases. That is the rhythm.
And it will ripple. Other states look at the largest state court systems for cues. The fight lands on 3 pressure points: bias reviews that actually catch harm, public records access when more text is machine-assisted, and who owns an error when a judge or clerk used an approved tool that still hallucinated.
Campaigns now. This is where your inbox starts to groan. AI sits inside writing, targeting, and scaling outreach. Not just the swing districts. It's every race with a list and a CMS.
The stunt phase, deepfake ads, and novelty chatbots gave way to operations. Consultants crank out segments and scripts, volunteers get better prompts, small campaigns act like big ones for outbound. On the other side, conservative activists test tools to mass challenge registrations. And then the Trump administration has signaled interest in using AI to police speech.
Whoa, let's stop for a second here and dig in on that. So the president has openly talked about using advanced tech, AI, to police speech. We really can't just shrug that off as rhetorical fluff. It triggers the First Amendment. It asks who controls what people are allowed to say or see.
Exactly. The president's AI action plan positions the government as an arbiter over, quote, ideologically neutral AI, banning so-called woke AI from models the federal government uses. That's already pushing into content control.
Woke AI is both politically charged and vaguely defined. But the rhetoric is clear. Models should not promote inclusive ideas that the administration has railed against since day one, like DEI.
When the government starts choosing which viewpoints are permitted inside AI tools it backs or excluding others, that's a dangerous slope.
Some might argue that the government can restrict certain untrue or harmful content under limits already recognized in law: defamation, fraud, incitement. But sweeping ideological constraints are a different level.
And there's this nuance in the recent scholarship. Models themselves aren't people, so they don't inherently have speech rights.
Womp womp for us.
Right, but the output is speech of the user or deployer. The First Amendment protects that.
So when the president signals that AI will be used to police speech, that risks chilling dissent, sidestepping courts, and shifting power over expression into code. That's not just about campaign ads or social media. It's about the foundations of public discourse.
Real-world example. States have already tried to mandate AI disclosure, force watermarking, or ban certain AI-generated speech. Many constitutional scholars say those laws run up against compelled speech doctrine, viewpoint discrimination, or overbreadth.
Minnesota's ban on political deepfakes is a live test. X, formerly Twitter, challenged it, arguing it violates the First Amendment and conflicts with Section 230 protections for platforms.
This matters for campaign shops too. If the government claims authority over what you can generate or send via AI, your message isn't just regulated by politics, it's regulated by algorithmic gatekeepers. It's really, really concerning that this isn't speculative. It's underway. The government is signaling it wants a seat inside the code of speech, and free speech law is supposed to resist that.
Okay. Hard transition to make, but back to the other impacts of AI in campaigns. The result for a small shop: more messages sent per hour, more personalized variants that claim to be tailored, more exposure to reputational risk if you miss a filter and something harmful ships.
Totally. And more legal exposure. State rules on deceptive practices keep evolving. Platforms tweak policies weekly. Without broad federal rules, lobbying by large vendors set de facto standards. That hands leverage to the providers that own the models and distribution.
Congress could set the frame. Except Congress hit pause. The government shutdown has stalled the main vehicle for defense policy, the NDAA, and sidelined GOP-backed AI bills from Senators Cruz and Hawley. Agencies slowed pieces of the new AI action plan. Work got stuck.
States kept moving. California and Colorado kept writing rules. That shifts power to governors, attorneys general, and procurement officers, plus the vendors that can meet state timelines. Preemption fights kick up later, but for now, 50 labs run.
Meanwhile, the NDAA, once unstuck, will bake in early definitions that last a decade. War on the Rocks flagged 4 forks in the road that matter. Define what trustworthy AI means in defense. Decide whether AI stays a helper or reshapes the force. Decide where AI operates beyond combat, logistics, intel, domestic support. Decide who holds power between industry and government.
Lock those in too rigidly, and you get brittle doctrine that cannot adjust to reality. Lock them in too softly, and vendors become policy by default. The smart play in the bill text is sunsets on authorities, independent audits for outcomes, clear lines of control for gray zone uses, and report language that narrows contractor scope where it matters.
Keep moving. Classrooms. Teachers use AI to draft lesson plans, feedback, and scaffolding for students who need different pacing. Surveys put time savings around 5 to 6 hours a week. A professor at the University of Maryland says students built complex projects faster with support tools. The market for education AI heads towards $6 billion next year.
Gains are real. Risks are real. Cheating detection remains noisy. Privacy risk climbs as student data flows through third parties. The job of a teacher shifts from writing steps to supervising projects and ethics. That is a good shift in many rooms and a stressor in others. School boards and unions become the venue for the next fights. The outcome will define not only grading, but what we mean by learning.
Okay, quite a ride today. We opened on a quiet room full of screens. We close on the same room. The hum sounds steady, not inevitable. The choice about how to use it belongs to people who sign on.
In the race between speed and control, the winner writes the rules and the story that follows.
This was The Impact.
Brought to you by MF Strategies. Talk to the team at www.mfstrategies.com.
I'm Hal.
And I'm Addie.
See you next time.